Good.
Just rolling.
Easy. Take it easy, Phil.
About 3 minutes.
It was a cold day. Stay with your family.
That's right.
So should we let Alberta be the 51st state?
Alberta?
Yeah.
I thought the whole country was going to be the 51st
Not
state.
all of them are all completely on board, but Alberta is. They're ready to go.
But they've got some resources we could use. Steve?
Let's see, I know where it is.
Does Laura have that rules procedure?
I think so. I'll double check.
Two minutes.
You certainly gave us a lot of reading.
Yeah, I know it is.
Where do you say that printer?
That one.
Mark, can you speak to that appeal in general?
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact reasons, like the court screwed up more houses.
Yeah, I have a copy of what they filed.
I don't need big, just
Yeah.
on the record.
Yep. You can write that.
1 minute.
Steve, would you like an agenda or anything? Okay. And can you just remind me what your last name is?
Patrick.
Thank you.
Patriqui.
You're causing trouble already.
Yeah, as long as I can run away and hide.
Okay. Not that.
Yeah, that-
Maybe on
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, just pull it out again, yeah.
All right, 6 o'clock according to Verizon. Town of Brookfield Planning Board, meeting called to order, 6 o'clock. I'm Ed Ingles, Chair, present. Marshall Goldberg. Here. Stephen Berry.
Here.
Leah Gage.
Here.
Mark Lofgren.
Here,
Jim Lowry.
Here.
Rich Sacker.
Here.
Selectman Rep. And we've got a couple members of the public here. No alternates tonight. As far as announcements, correspondence, or mail, the only thing I guess of note in the mailbox was that Selectman Zacher gave me this packet of paper here, which has a bunch of ordinances that we didn't realize we have. I haven't looked at them yet, just got it in the mail, so take a look at these, but some of these date back to the late 70s. So there's a lot of stuff like that that is kind of floating around. We'll get to the driveway stuff in a minute, but we do have a separate driveway ordinance now. It's not embedded in our zoning ordinance, so that's something we want to maybe potentially address along with maybe some of these other ones.
Yeah, we're going to review, the selectmen are going to review all of them. They go back to 93, and we might have to refresh those.
Okay, and these are selectmen-driven ordinances, right? Okay. I think that's that for the mail. The minutes for September 8th went around in a separate email. I only had one change under resident complaint under new business. It said the resident did like, it should say did not like.
Right.
Other than that, I didn't have changes.
Mine.
had that too, I had one,
In the one?
but I have one more, let's see. Oh, I think the Moose, page, well, my page 3, the Moose Mountain lawsuit bullet.
Yeah.
The hearing was on June 25th, not July 25th.
Okay.
That's the one that we went to,
Yes.
right? That was in June, yeah. And then I thought maybe the last sentence there you could strike. If they don't appeal, we have to have a rehearing no later than October 9. I wasn't sure about the date, and then of course they did appeal, so I just thought you could strike that whole sentence.
That was more informational anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes from September 8th?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7-0. All right. Public comments? No, Steve, no. Ed? No public comments. We'll move on to new business. The budget, you should have a spreadsheet looking type thing in front of you. Ours is the third little section down there, 4191 Planning Board. And I guess the two things of note here, I would more or less generally keep the budget the same, but I think given that we're using SRPC a little bit more, we just signed a contract for $7,500, but the budget shows $12,500. I would suggest we just leave it there. We probably won't spend that, but just so we have it if we do need anything special.
So are we going to pay out of that line item?
Yes.
Okay,
That's where that would come from.
got it.
And then the second thing is the secretariat or admin wages, $3,200 in the budget. We've gone over that already this year, and we're in October. So I would suggest raising that to $5,000, but basically a third higher than, or roughly a third higher than where it is.
Do you know where we are right now?
We're about $3,350, I think.
That's what this says.
That's it. That's through the end of September.
Yeah, that's the right number.
Okay.
And just for everybody's benefit, I guess, we've kind of had informal conversations with Leah to just kind of do what needs to be done and not go overboard on different stuff.
She deserves every penny.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So I'll suggest we go to 5,000 on that, which gets us up to 20,000 total.
Public notices, we've kind of backed off going in the Granite State News, right?
Yes, but that would be mailings if we have to put out mailings. Registered mail.
Gotcha. So
No,
that's
buying
what
the
that's
butters
for.
and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't have to go to the Granite State News for most things anymore, as long as it's posted on the website and in 2 places.
No one else does either.
Oh, Wolfboro and Tupton Borough and all those other towns.
So they read it?
I've got more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we might want to change public notices, get a different sub for that. You call that mailings, that's really notifications now, it's not the newspaper anymore.
Or we could call it notifications. Either one.
Whatever the state gives us.
Okay, there you go.
So what's an ad cost roughly?
What's what?
What's an ad cost in the Granite State
I didn't do
News?
that.
Roughly.
Think $60.
So if we ever wanted to run an ad, if we ever wanted to, which bucket would that come out of? Or not one of those
We'll
buckets?
come out of public notices.
Yeah, it would come out of there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just think if we ever need to do something, we might do it, that's all. Doesn't mean we have to spend it.
I think more people read Conway Daily Sun than they do the Granite State News.
I have no idea.
And My comment is, people see public notices, we know we don't have to post in the newspaper anymore, so why is it in the budget? As opposed to mailings, so we're required to have mailings to abutters. So if we want to split it, we should split it, but I think we want to put mailings.
Do you want to change it to a butter notices?
I'd rather leave it broader.
Yeah,
Yes.
notifications. Notifications, everybody good with that?
That terminology comes from the state. These are their numbers, so we can look at your list and pick the one that's appropriate,
Okay.
but 4,400 is plain public notices.
Right.
So if we want to split it, we can split it.
Okay. Can we do that after the fact? You don't need that.
No, we can just split it next time we'll give it to the treasurer, she'll split
Yeah,
it.
okay. Any other, what's miscellaneous expenses, 2,750, what's in there? Pencils and paper clips or?
Your maps, if you need something copied, go to Staples.
Staples. So just leave that and hopefully we don't spend that much on copies. Okay, so I'll make a motion that we just bump up the secretary wages to 5,000 for the budget, and that would take us to 20,000 for 2026. Motion's on the floor. We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Motion carries with one abstention, 601. Okay. Subdivision regulations, we didn't print these out. They are relatively easy to find on the website. And just want people to be aware that we're probably going to get a couple of subdivision requests at some point. I'm not sure when. Any idea when those might hit? So, a couple of parcels, one's for sale and one where a person just passed away and that property is being talked about, potentially developed. So I think I would encourage everybody just to read through the subdivision regs. I don't think there's anything in there, that we want to change. We can change subdivision regs without a town vote. But I just read through them relatively quickly and I didn't really see anything specific. There's a lot of rules in terms of, the street's got to be 50 feet wide and you've got to provide this and that and drainage and all that kind of stuff. It's not something, I certainly don't feel qualified to talk about drainage really, so I think we just go with what's there unless there's some kind of issue. And if somebody does have an issue with a particular thing when this comes in front of us, that's when we can call it out at that point. We can do a site visit, whatever we need to do.
We have discussed over the years whether we want to require cisterns in subdivisions. So cisterns are where they bury a large, like a 10,000 gallon fiberglass tank and put water in it. If it doesn't freeze, and that's what's used by the fire department to deal with fires, because you gotta find a source someplace.
Yeah.
So that was an open issue that we carried forward for years, whether in a subdivision we want to ask to have the developer to put in a cistern, 10,000 gallons.
So I think we can, as we went through the process, we could do that as a planning board. You could require that as part of the conditional approval.
Okay?
Or a fire pond.
Fire, yes,
Because cisterns are extremely expensive.
Yep.
What did you say, a what?
fire pond.
Fire
Water
pond?
pond.
So it's, it's however many feet deep where it doesn't freeze and then there's a hydrant access type of
Yeah.
thing.
What do they do now when they come to a home that just has a,
They
you know,
truck it
septic?
in, they truck it in on
Truck it in?
fire trucks. And it just takes time. Takes time that they shuttle it, they fill a
Yep.
truck someplace and then bring it in.
I see.
And, mutual aid will be doing that, but it takes time. You
Yeah.
got the logistics of passing on roads, whatever,
Yeah.
and the winter becomes a challenge.
So I think we can deal with that at the time. But we certainly could require it in subdivisions of more than 3 lots, 4 lots, whatever.
I'm sorry, we
We
could.
could,
Yeah.
we could have, I don't think we would need a warrant article for that.
Subdivision reg.
We just put it right in the subdivision reg if we wanted to. So I don't think we need to do anything on that today, but
Fire safety codes.
yeah, it is part of our charge is to make sure it's, the drainage and environmental stuff and the fire safety. And it's not too far from elementary school, so they're picking up some kids,
Sure.
it takes half an hour, whatever. So that's it on that. Just, if you have a chance, just read through those. We don't want to run into the situation where we accept an application and have to be under the gun to decide on it. So we want to make sure we have all our i's dotted and t's crossed before we accept an application, if we get one in front of us. Okay, driveway permits. There is a section on the website called Driveway Permitting Regulations, which I think you have a copy of in front of you. It's 4 pages. There's a lot of stuff there, but I didn't really see anything that jumped out that, well, that's, you know, we should change that or what have you. But as one of our upcoming proposed ordinances, which we'll deal with in a few minutes, one of the suggestions is to just incorporate this into the ordinance itself, as opposed to having a separate set of regulations. The downside, I think, is that this could only be changed by warrant or selectman special meeting, if this were to be incorporated. The way it is now, we can change it as a planning board, is that right?
I believe so,
Just like the subdivision regs.
but the issue is, you need a driveway permit, but you don't have to put a driveway in. And we're being caught on that. People are, you have a permit, you get the building permit, you need a driveway permit. I've got my permit, but I don't have to follow through and put a driveway in. It's a loophole.
So they get a building permit?
Yeah. You can
They
just go,
they can build
yeah, but they don't,
without the driveway?
they have a permit, but no driveway. That's right. It's a loophole. It's a loophole in our ordinance.
So is that a problem with the building ordinance? That it should say you have to have a driveway, or I'm confused? Is it a problem with the driveway permit?
There's nothing wrong with the permit, it's just that
Okay.
we don't ask them to follow through and put it in. You just have to get a permit.
So how can we make sure they follow through? What would we have to do?
We put it in our zoning, saying that all
Yeah.
dwellings require a driveway following our driving permit regs.
Yeah, got it. Makes sense.
And along those lines, now that we can put ADUs any place on a lot, I would suggest we require driveways to all dwellings. So if someone puts an ADU out back, at least a driveway,
Yeah, because you want access for fire vehicles or what have you.
emergency, ambulance, whatever.
So maybe that's something we add when we do the ADU warrant or update?
We could do it within the driveway ordinance.
Required for all dwellings.
So we'll get to that in a second. Yes,
May I speak for a second?
absolutely.
Didn't the town reject forcing everybody to have a driveway? Didn't that get rejected just by
The
the town?
planning board rejected that about 10 years ago. You're right. Because we
Okay.
had the same discussion 10 years ago, and the planning board said, we're not going to make people put a driveway in.
So that would, but 10 years ago, that was never something that people came
That's
to the
correct.
board and said,
That's
let's
correct.
force
It
it.
stayed right here.
So my issue is, you're using the word driveway permit. Shouldn't it just be access point? It's not really a driveway permit. Because if the town didn't really want you to be forced to have driveway, but you should have some regulation about where you want the opening to the property. Because I still see that idea of forcing people to have a driveway to their ADUs is, again, restricting somebody's private property use. I just went too far with my comment, so that's it. Thank you.
I agree
But
with
you
you.
might have been on the board 10 years ago. I think you were.
Steve,
Since 2014.
I would just caution you, you have existing driveways that could easily service an ADU. I have 4 locations on my property where there are existing driveways that can accept an ADU, so requiring another driveway could be restricted. And I have no parking in my existing driveway.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I mean, if everybody came to the planning board and said, listen, we're having a problem in town, we gotta have driveways, and everybody came in here and said that, then I would say, put the warrant article in and maybe let the town vote. And maybe you could still do that. Then that way you'll have a clear idea that do the people want to be forced to have a driveway or not? That way you can then go ahead and say, okay, these are the requirements for the actual driveway. But as of now, I don't get the sense that people are pushing driveways. But you should be pushing where the opening is and the emergency access.
I think it's the emergency access that would concern me. It's a little bit like the Class 6 road. issue where if somebody wants to sign off and say, I'm fine not getting fire trucks down here, I guess that's a different story, but I feel like it's kind of the same issue, that you need to have some kind of access for police and fire.
Do you know of any examples, Rich?
I'll have to think about it.
Well, let's talk about it when we get to the ordinances. Okay, legal update. So Moose Mountain did appeal. And Mark, I don't know if you want to just touch on that.
Sure, yeah, they did appeal, very short. There's 3 questions they raised with the court. I'm not sure, they're very short. I won't just read them, but they are a little hard to understand, frankly. But one was around the fact that the board decision, in their view, was late. And the trial court said, well, that you Moose Mountain waived your right to that issue. And they're now saying they didn't think legally that they did waive the right to that issue. So they're asking the appellate court that issue, that question. They're questioning whether the planning board really had authority because they went to the Board of Selectmen and asked for automatic approval. And so they think the planning board didn't have authority at all. And then they thought the planning board's conditions that relative to zoning relief were not lawful or not reasonable. So those are the 3 questions they've set to the appellate court for ruling on appeal. I'm not sure the timing. I guess we'll hear that from our counsel, but they've appealed.
Yeah, so we have a call with council next Monday. We'll get more on that. I'm not sure who's going to be, you're going to be there, right?
Yeah, selectmen to be there.
All 3 selectmen. Is it open? I guess it's with council, so anybody can be there.
From the board,
From
yes. Yes.
We can all be there if we
Yes.
wanted to. It's not, because it's not a public meeting. It doesn't have to be.
What is the time? What is that?
5 o'clock Monday?
Next
I
one.
have 5:50.
On the 20th?
Here or next door?
Here.
Here.
We have a conflict, anything on Monday night?
I don't believe so.
If we have a conflict, we'll go to the schoolhouse.
That'd be the 20th?
Yeah.
The second, I'm not sure, I guess it's legal, is the ministry. Trustee, where do we stand on that? Is
No action.
no action. Okay. So we'll touch base with Laura on that next week as well.
We haven't asked her to do anything.
No.
either. So it's,
I think she had a couple of suggestions, and we maybe have to decide which one we want to do, but that could be your selectman's job, not ours. Okay. I think that's it for legal, thankfully. Master plan. So we had the folks from SRPC in to talk about the maps, and I'll let Marshall take this over in a second. So there were 2 things we asked them to do, and I think they did a really good job. They've got all these maps. We'll get them digitized, and you'll be able to have big ones, small ones online, etc. And you can touch on the maps in a second, but we also gave them our proposed master plan changes, and they gave us feedback with changes, recommended changes. And we don't have to take them, but what I was thinking, and you guys have this in your packet, the proposed zoning amendments, and I think you can see, a little easier to see on a computer, but like if you turn over to page 4, you can see what they did with the ADU rules. And part of this was making it consistent with state law that has changed. So they just provided some recommended language. For example, on ADU, should be located on a lot containing blah, blah, blah. So all this stuff that's underlined are changes that they have recommended. The other ones aren't quite as detailed as that one. And then there's somewhere, I think, I don't know if it's in this, there's another area where they call it household instead of dwelling or something like that. I forget what it
Yeah.
is. So there were some minor changes, a word here, a word there. Oh, it's on the first page. Revised definitions. Do not emphasize family relationships. Consider adding household to the definitions. Rather than saying family, you say household, for example.
Because they don't have to be related.
Right. Exactly.
I can send everyone links to the maps. They have put all the maps that they have currently for us online. We have a specific link. They haven't updated all of them with what they're going to give us yet. So like we gave them a map of all our roads and wrote down all the names that were on the map. They haven't updated that one yet, but they said as they update them, they will add them to the website and we'll be able to check in on them whenever.
So I don't know the best way to go about this, but I was thinking we would have a warrant article that, let's maybe just skip ahead to the next section here, proposed ordinances. So the first one, amend our zoning ordinances for the RSA amendments. I've listed 4 on the agenda, but there are 8, I believe, they commented on, and 1 or 2 of those don't apply to us. Which are the last 2? The last 3 don't apply to us. This one's about commercial zone, we don't have floor area ratios and stereo requirements. Maybe we should on 1 or 2, but we don't right now. So I'm not sure the best way to do this. We could have all of them in one warrant article and say, here's the 6 things we take this language from SRPC. We could create our own language, we could do a combination of those, and council will look at the wording on that before it goes to the vote. So I guess the question is, should we do them all at once, all 6, or should we have a different warrant article for each one?
It sounds to me like we're gonna have, how many warrant articles in total?
A lot.
So, I would say the less the better.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right now, and this would make it 12. And then Selectmen have a couple, right?
Yes, but they're not going to be on the ballot.
Oh,
They'll be
they're
on the town meeting.
Okay.
I think we could bundle the 6 that were, the number we're required to put in as one article. And say these are required by the state, and then we modify, we have to specify what we're changing in our zoning, so it's going to be a big article. Let's say we're going to change the following paragraphs.
And so, would you just, let's say we agree with everything SRPC says. Could this be the warrant
Article
article?
specify what we're changing in our zoning. It gives you words of what, but we have to dovetail this to existing zoning, say we're changing the following paragraphs
From A to B?
in our zoning. Or we can replace. We're going to replace what's in our zoning with
With
something
this.
here.
Yeah.
But we have to be clear to the town what we're actually changing. The reason being the state changed the RSA's.
Right, so if it gets voted down,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter, so.
It might get voted down, which might send a message to Concord, but the law is the law, but it could be voted down.
So for their suggestion of changing family to household, would we need to list out all the ordinances that name family versus household and then say we're changing all of them to this?
You're supposed to. You're supposed to highlight the changes to our zoning. I mean, it's easy to put this together. There's a lot of work behind this.
So could we, that's overwhelming for the public, okay? I think we all agree. Yes? I mean, it's overwhelming, so I would just suggest that we either send out a mailing, to the people ahead of time so they can read all this stuff, or have a session, if you will, with coffee and donuts and talk through this stuff, so at least we try to communicate ahead of voting.
We have to have a public hearing on these anyway, right?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I know, but nobody comes, or hardly anybody comes, so how do we, I don't think that's fair to expect people to comprehend all this stuff. And I don't know, or what vehicle could we use, if we could put it on the website, or send a note out and say, read this stuff, or however we do it, I just think we have to educate people.
I mean, the reason for this is we're getting into compliance with state law.
Yep.
So you kind of want to get there.
Right? Right?
It might be easier to take their wording and replace what we have with their wording if it's sufficient, and say we're just going to be in compliance in the following areas, and we replace our zoning with the state's wording.
Okay,
I mean,
that's better.
it'd be obvious that you don't have to read each paragraph, this is
Right.
going to be compliant with the state zoning. Not much idea.
I like that.
I mean, if you look at the underlying stuff here, there's not all that much.
No,
But the more articles, if you have a big article in one article, it's easy to say no. 'Cause I don't understand all that
Right.
stuff, no.
So we should have each one separate. Then.
You said people are gonna pick and choose, but still, I think it's easy to get some approved if they're individual, than if there's one big article, people go, I don't know what this means, but the other thing is it gonna be recommended by the planning board underneath? And if it is, then most people are gonna go with that.
We have to recommend it,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's the state law, so.
Yeah.
It's that first sentence that they would go ahead and read.
Yeah.
So if they read that, and then we can have the particulars underneath.
Exactly.
But it's the first sentence that they can read and approved by another planning board.
Mhm.
Maybe just, if we do separate them all, maybe just group them so they're all, one after the other, wherever we put them. So in that first sentence on each one, it'll say, to comply with changes in state law, we're doing A, B, and C. And they can still check each one if we want to list them all.
Or the following 12 articles are, to comply with state law. And you could, I guess if you headed it with that sentence,
Yeah.
then everybody would go, okay, this is just to comply with state law, and you could have all of them under one.
Yes,
under one
I
group.
think so,
Yeah,
yeah. And most people won't read them.
no,
They can, but
but.
they know that they just check yes because we
Comply
have
with
to do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been determined yet as to how many people are tied into our email? That, Brookfield has their email, so we send things out?
No.
Not yet?
We don't do that count.
We do have a list.
17,000 over the last 5 years,
We do have that list, I don't know how
but
many.
I don't know.
But you're 3,400 of those.
Well, that's the problem, right? That's why we don't have the info. Now, when they change over the website, we will have that capability, but right now we don't.
Not easily, we can't get it. Not easy to get count today.
No.
In the future it will be.
Yes.
Are there any here that we, people already want to, there's certain things we have to comply with, right? But there are other things beyond that we could recommend if we thought, well, gee, now that all the rules have changed on ADUs, we want to require a driveway, or whatever it is. Right, so we could add some things that are permissible. Are we not considering, I don't have any ideas on that, I'm just asking the question. Are we just simply going to adopt what the state, to comply with state law and nothing more?
We can add anything we want to the ADU area that's consistent with the rest of the residential area. Can't make it
Right.
unique, but if we require driveways here, we can require driveways there.
All right, so are there things we should think about in that regard, which, or people, I haven't thought about whether there are things like that that we should do or recommend doing. Or maybe this year we just get the state law, get in line with it, and then, just take care of that for this year.
I think
Might make
that's probably
sense.
best since there's so many changes we
Yeah.
need to make. There's gonna be so many warrant articles, no matter how we package them.
Yeah,
Keep it simpler this year. This is just bringing us into
compliant,
line, compliance, and then add on whatever changes next year.
yeah,
Hopefully next year won't be like this again.
right, yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I guess one way to approach it is to identify the sections in our zoning that will be impacted. So we can see what's there today and what we're going to replace, and if there's anything that we want to bring forward. Right? As opposed to just going in and replacing. And that's some work to be done, because what part of our zoning is going to be impacted by each one of these? We have to identify that.
Didn't they do that here? Weren't they, like,
They did.
No, they don't.
Well,
in Article 2, District Section A, is that a reference to our,
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Yep. They're specifically saying within your zoning,
They read through this.
whatever.
Excellent,
They said-
excellent.
Yeah.
So we're going to retake.
So there are 9 different things that are impacted here. 9 different state rules that have changed. I don't know why they didn't have, they don't have what I have.
So,
Well,
look
like-
at, I just have a question. Just look at the first one on the first page of Amendment 1. And it says, after, effective September 25, the bill prohibits municipalities from adopting and enforcing ordinances that limit the number of occupants in a dwelling unit to fewer than 2 occupants per bedroom. So you have a 3-bedroom house. You can have 6 people, or you can't have?
You can't require them, okay, you have a 3-bedroom home,
Yes.
and when you do a septic design, it's a minimum of 2 people, they calculate it by 2 people per bedroom.
Correct.
And then, so you can't say, well, you can only have 4 people in this house.
If you had 2 bedrooms,
If you have 3 bedrooms,
you could only have 2 people in the house?
they're saying you can't limit them to 4 people.
So, there is no limit.
No.
Yeah,
There's no
So you
upper
can have
limit, there's a
20
minimum limit.
That's right, it says right here, you can't limit the number of people to fewer than 2 per bedroom.
so we could limit 2 per bedroom, but we couldn't say 1 per bedroom.
Right.
Correct.
But right now, our rules don't say that, do they?
I don't think they say anything.
I don't think
I
they
don't
do
think
either.
they do either.
I don't think they do, but their point really is, it's about discrimination, so you can't, the family relationship, brother, sister could be in one room, whatever, 2 brothers, whatever.
Hmm.
You couldn't say, you can only have 1 kid in that room. You can't say that.
And you can't say,
So that's why they want to change it to household. So anywhere it says family or familial in our zoning, we should just change the word to household. And I think that covers this one.
Back on the 2, I think our zoning doesn't restrict the number of people that can be in a bedroom, so you could put 6 people in a bedroom.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what this says, you could do that. That's the way I read it, you can put 6 in a bedroom.
We're in compliance now. The only thing they want us to do is change the word family to household.
Yeah, and I actually have a question about that, because this is in the home occupation section. Not that, I don't think we have to change this, is what my point is.
They don't have to do any of this.
Well, no, I don't think, to leave family, I don't think that would, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think that would violate the changes in the state law. Because this has to do with home occupation, not how many people are living in the house.
Yes, but the people that live in the house don't necessarily have to be related, is the point that they're making here.
And they can still work on the household occupation.
Is that a state law issue? Would it violate the state law to say, well, you can have home occupations, but if you have multiple, they all have to be part of the same family? So let's say you have a house and you have 6 people, 3 bedrooms, none of them are related. maybe they rent, and now you have 6 home occupations in there. That's what this would allow. And maybe that's fine, I'm not sure the state law requires us to say that in this context, that's all I'm getting at.
It sounds like at least SRPC feels like limiting it to familial relationships is discriminatory,
That's what they're saying.
is all. I don't know that they've put that into law, though.
And it could be I don't know, sister-in-law, or whatever, it's not really.
And I mean, do we really want to be asking what the family relationship, we probably don't want to be in that business anyway,
Yeah,
but
that's what I want to say.
I'm just pointing out that I'm not sure that one is legally required, if that's all we're trying to do.
It's easier to make it more ambiguous than being specific, so we're just taking that out.
That seems like the easiest change of all of these.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it broadens it out, and we're supposedly in master plan encouraging home businesses, so.
And if you went to Scrabble, it's probably less than family.
What do we think is the best way to attack this? Should everybody just take one and come back next month and write a warrant article, or should we just send it to the
One
lawyer?
warrant article with a good opening sentence.
Yeah, I think so too.
They should all be together.
Yes.
With the open
Well,
sentence, yeah.
I will also say that the SRPC has a grant right now that's going to be, they have money to do this. We don't have to pay for this, right? And it's till when, the 13th or the 14th? When's the
Today's
drop
the-
dead?
That's
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It ends tomorrow.
Right, so we could call, what's her name? Natalie? Is Natalie doing this?
I don't know which one is doing this.
She's the one
I
who
think
sent
it
the
was,
email.
I think it was, yes.
She
And
wrote
we
the
would
email.
be asking them what, to write the warrant for us?
Yeah, write these warrant articles for us. Crank them out. I mean, as a first draft,
Yeah.
why wouldn't we, I guess, is the question. What's the harm in it?
So they're missing a few. But anyway,
Well, but we could
Well,
ask.
if they did this one, it'll be a big one off the plate.
It would be.
does anybody feel that the ADU one maybe should be separated out? Just because it's such a big deal and it's a lot of language? And it may be a hot button for certain people.
It doesn't matter. But
You really have to do it anyway.
What are you gonna do if the town votes this one big article down? You're now in violation of state law.
That's what I just asked.
doesn't matter, state law trumps. A builder comes in and said, I want to do this, it's allowed per state law. We can't say no. It's a new point almost, right?
If you're willing to take that chance, that's,
So you,
talk to your lawyer.
so you put it into, you change the zoning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would think that it would be more of an informational. It's not a warrant article actually asking the town to do anything, I don't think, because it's already been decided. But what's not decided is what you're going to do with all the nuance of it. That's why I think it's a good idea to go through what we actually have to change. But AI can do that very easily.
Well, that's very interesting.
If you plug in the existing ordinance, plug in some of the stuff the SRPC came up with, the rules, and just tell the AI, create a warrant article or informational process for these changes. And at least it's going to be a starting point. Thank you.
That too.
I don't know what the RSA say. Maybe we want to keep it very simple. Replace our article and reference the state RSA on ADUs.
Could do that.
If they're well written, if the RSAs are well written, we're going to just throw ours away and say, we're gonna follow the state RSA subdivision, they need to use, period.
And if I could continue just on that, then what I would do is, I would, just like Leah said, is then next year, once it's done and it's in place, then if you want to put in some nuanced regulations that don't inhibit the freedom of somebody putting a detached accessory dwelling unit in, then you could address those things. Trying to do all this at once, adding every little nuance now, when the town isn't even really aware of all these changes that the legislature has said. So I don't know, it's a warrant, when in the past did the legislature basically do this? I don't know, and is it a warrant article, or is it some kind of an informational something? I don't know what it is. What are we offering to the people?
Well, to change the zoning language, it has to be a warrant article or a selectman public hearing.
I still don't know what they're voting on. If I go into the booth, I'm going to say, well, if this is the state law, now our ordinance is going to be per the state law, then what am I really voting on? It sounds like it's just information.
Well, I think
It's just information at that point.
So I would say, does the RSA have it verbatim and very clearly what they have to do? Or does SRP have language that's identical to the RSA that can just be plugged in?
The
I
RSA
would think they do.
is pretty clear, especially with the ADU one.
You say ADU, but just for a correction, you're talking about detached accessory dwelling
Yes.
units.
Well, it changes, a lot of the language is the same, it just says they can be detached now. And, our zoning says they can't be attached, they have to be attached, and they have to be, X size versus the main house and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is if we don't change our existing ordinance and someone goes to read it, it will read differently than the state law.
And that's where.
And the only way we can change it, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is to have people vote on it. So either way, I think we want them to approve it. And if they don't, we've still got to follow it. So what's the best way to make it clear that people should be approving this because it's required?
Yeah, if you read this intro sentence.
Yeah, I think so too.
Correctly.
Yeah.
You shouldn't get any no's, maybe you get a couple.
Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
suspect you're gonna get a lot of no's as a message.
Yeah, could be.
There'll be a lot of no's on it that we can, if we want to, we can send to Congress. So here's how the Brookfield in our community, because discussed it at the barbecue, and people didn't know about it, and were shocked at what happened. So I think they'll vote no.
Yeah. Well, to Marshall's point, maybe that's another reason to explain it a little bit more in advance. Might get more no's, I don't know. Hopefully you get more yeses because they would have calmed down and thought about it.
Maybe.
I wouldn't get caught up on trying to educate everybody. Just make sure it's all right and make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's, and because we've been struggling with that for years with the planning board, trying to get people involved.
But, Rich, do you have to have the actual language that we are going to use in the new zoning ordinance?
I believe so.
Because that hasn't, historically, we haven't done that, I don't think.
I think we have.
But
Replace-
the
replace-
exact language?
Well, we don't have enough room on the warrant, but on the write-up that we hand down for people on the table, we have the wording, and we say replace this section with this section, and the details are on the table.
I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but if we said, the state law has changed. House Bill, whatever it is, 477, now allows detached ADUs. Are you in favor of bringing our zoning into compliance with HB 477? And then we can write, if it's yes or no, then we can write the language in our zoning to make it consistent with HB 477.
I don't think that'll fly.
We can't do that.
We have to show them up front. We could say we're gonna use the wording on HB, whatever, 477, and this is it.
Yeah.
Replace ours with this, is clean,
And we would have that just on the handout, not on the warrant.
I would think. Just too many words.
And we should probably say that, if this is not approved, we still have to comply with it to make it clear.
state.
We're just trying to avoid confusion down the road by having inconsistent rules that
Right.
violate state law.
So if, let's say it didn't pass, and we didn't change our zoning, to your point, somebody could just say, I need a building permit, and it's state law. And you would give them the building permit.
Have to.
Or they could, maybe, if they needed a variance for whatever reason, you kind of let it fly through ZBA.
Like, they get a building permit.
They would just get it.
A building permit. Or you're gonna be in court again.
Pardon me?
I said, you better give them a building permit or you're gonna be in court again.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a no-brainer, I think.
Big money, it seems that way.
I don't see why you couldn't, as a planning board, have a special meeting. And I don't mean a planning board public hearing, I mean a town special meeting to discuss this, but not discuss it to ask, to say, what can we do to change it? Just to inform them that in the upcoming town meeting, you're gonna be asked to not accept it. You're gonna be asked to say that you've been notified of this change. That way, at least everybody will know what that means. I don't know how much it costs to do a special meeting, but that usually brings the town in. Because the detached change is a big change.
It's a big change.
So I would think, since the town did reject it year after year of detached, that a special meeting to really make sure everybody is understanding it kind of makes sense.
So we could do that at the public hearing for these warrants, right?
Yeah, I always say special meeting because people, when you say a public hearing, nobody shows up.
Special
Yes.
informational session.
Yeah. Public hearing with a special informational session on new changes.
But when I say special meeting, I mean it's called by the selectmen, where it's actually, not to say you're not official, but it's super official. When you say special town meeting, you can't do that?
You can't do that, costs a lot of money.
Wow.
You gotta go to Superior Court to get that. You
How
just
much
can't have,
money does that
you
cost?
just can't have a special town meeting. You can have a meeting, don't call it a special town meeting.
Well, how much would it cost to have the?
Couple $1,000,
Well,
you gotta go to court.
You can afford that. I'm just saying, that way the public would definitely show up and say,
Perhaps.
what's going on here? I think they would.
Perhaps.
It does affect everybody.
So are we generally in agreement that we should have all of these changes in one warrant article?
Yes.
I think so.
I would. So I don't see the difference between, I'm on article, Amendment 2, HB 577, on one page they got an overview, then on the second page, I guess is what they would change in our zoning?
Everything underlined is what they suggest.
So I have a question on the second from the bottom on page 4. Under that, it says, the area of an ADU may not exceed 30% of the total floor area of a single-family dwelling, including the ADU, or 750 square feet, whichever is larger. That's kind of confusing to me. Can someone explain that to me?
The ADUs were becoming bigger than the dwelling.
Yeah.
It wasn't an auxiliary dwelling unit anymore, it was a new home.
Okay.
And that was trying to deal with that.
And this is in our, that language is in our zoning right now. And they're saying you don't need to change that. So we can just take this as is and say, here's our new ADU language. Strike Article 2 as is and replace it with this.
I would use the word detached, because everybody knows ADUs, but they're not sure, are we talking about detached or just accessory dwelling units?
That could be in the header. I mean, the first sentence can be attached or detached. I think that's the hardest one. The other ones are pretty straightforward, more definitional.
So owner occupancy is required. Oh, never mind.
That's our code, not state law.
So basically, this says you can put 20 people in an ADU, right? Is that what that says? 40 people on an ADU. Do
You can
whatever you
fit
want.
that many in 750 square feet, you go for it.
I'm just
So
saying
you,
that.
That's right, you're right.
I know, I don't know if I agree with it, but that's the
Understand
state
that,
law.
but you understand what it says.
I mean,
I
that's,
don't know that.
what? Well, I mean, it's,
That's right. Thank you.
well, and that brings up a good point, because couldn't we limit to that earlier discussion about 2 per bedroom? Do we have anything about how many people can occupy a house?
Nope.
And so therefore, we don't have anything as to how many people can occupy an ADU.
That's right.
If we had something on how many people can occupy a house, that would also apply. I think that's the way the rules work. You can have your regular single-family home rules also apply to ADUs.
That's right.
yeah, it says right there.
Yeah, and we don't have any limit on how many people can live in a single house, so why should we have a limit on? But we could.
That's right.
We could recommend that.
We've never had the open, right? It's not
Yeah.
our space up here. We're not in the city.
Right.
And you don't control septic requirements, correct?
Control what?
Septic requirements.
No.
Therefore, you have to go by the state, so if it's 3-bedroom, it's 3-bedroom. You can't say how many people are in the house, but they have to comply with the septic regulations. That's really the only governing.
But that's only the number of bedrooms. They don't care how many people are in a
Yeah,
bedroom.
that's what I mean, I'm saying you can't do anything about that.
It's when you build it. They look at the bedrooms and that's the big size of the septic. You can
Yeah.
have
And if I want to put 17 people in my house, it's none of your business.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it like that, but that's it.
That's the way it's written.
And if my septic fails because I got too many in it, that's on me.
And if you don't have a closet, you don't have a bedroom.
So she did send me the Word file for this. Do you want me to go through and change them into actual warrant articles so we can see what it looks like?
Or are we gonna
I
have a
would
specific?
call,
Or
I would
each one,
call
or-
her or leave a message with her tonight and say, I know the deadline's tomorrow, and here's what I need you to do for us. Instead of you spending a lot of time because she's.
Have her do it.
Yeah, have her do it.
I agree.
And aren't we really talking about just the lead-in of the warrant? You know, change the following sections to comply with state law and say whatever else we want about it? And then this, you know, like the ADU, this would actually be the warrant. This is the new language. We could show what the changes are.
In the informational one. But on the actual
Couldn't we-
warrant, we would just
yeah.
go ahead and state what we're doing.
We've always said change from this paragraph to this paragraph. But I think with the underline,
Yeah,
it's much
a
more
lot
important.
easier.
That's right.
And shorter.
That's right. You're not reading to it looking for word changes.
Yeah.
We've never done it that way. I guess it's okay to show that way. The marked up version, it's much easier to read and understand.
Uh-huh.
The lawyer will tell us.
Yeah. Not change the concept, just the actual verbiage.
Steve.
Rather than underline, the state always makes the changes bold, they stand out better, rather than try to read lines and between lines, and just make what you're changing bold, as they do in the laws.
Jim, if you run across that before, what do you think about just have the warrant article say, come into compliance with HB 577? Or do we actually have to have the actual language in there?
That I don't know. I'm just looking at it from the voter's standpoint. I think, you know, keep it simple, stupid. The easier it is for people to say, yay, that's the way it should do it.
So that would be simple to me.
Mhm.
The state says pass 577 this year
Yep.
regarding whatever it is.
Yep,
We want to vote to get covered compliance with.
yep.
And then if they want to go look up what 577 is, they can, if they don't care. I don't know, if we could do it that way, I would much rather have that. And in the informational stuff, you can certainly provide all the language that we think we're going to put in there. But
Mhm.
But that's a lot of work.
Mhm.
That's a lot more work than saying, let's get into compliance with 577.
Or you have to give them some kind of an explanation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
well, first have SVC, write it out for us, and then we've got something to actually balance against. We've got a partial active claim.
well, we can ask Laura next week. Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because all our towns are dealing with this.
yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My last comment would be, perhaps we could use the word that we're asking the voter, you, the voter, to ratify. Use that word, ratify, what the legislature has imposed, and then list it. Because I'm thinking as a voter, the first thing somebody's going to say is, what are you asking me to do? If I can't deny it, I can't vote against it, so what am you're asking them to ratify it. And if they want to protest and say, I don't ratify it, it doesn't mean really anything, but at least they know what their duty is, to just ratify it. Thank you.
Seems reasonable.
Good thought, good verb.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll try to get SRPC,
I'll email
Do
her.
something for us.
Yeah.
and we'll talk to Laura next week, and then maybe you and I can sit down and write some of this stuff in a week or two, once we get some more info.
All right.
Anybody else want to work on this?
I'd be happy to help.
Yeah, I'm there too.
All right, maybe we'll divide and conquer, but
Yeah.
we'll try to put them all together in one warrant. And there's some other ones that they didn't cover in here that are on here. Marcia, you want to just give a quick update on the maps, please?
Sure. We took all the existing maps that are in the master plan. We were given a document that explains the sources of where all those maps come from and how they're updated. And as someone said, they're all digital on the SLAC website under the community of Brookfield. It has all of the documentation, all of that available to us anytime. So that's important to note.
I'll email that, all you have.
And one thing that we still have to do is, and I'm going to hand this out. This is a sample example. So on the implementation and strategies, which were the 4 or 5 pages at the end of the master plan, as you recall, which is, remember these, right?
Yeah.
So to make life easy and make it a working document that we can follow, I took the Historical Society, this is a page out of the Historical Society in the master plan, and I didn't do A, B, and C. D and E are what's shown, but on E, for implementation strategies, how do you achieve it? I just rewrote the Historical Society's strategies. So in each section, we need to do the same thing. So we were all assigned different sections, so we need to write the implementation strategies, and these are not, in my view, what I wrote is not specific enough, meaning when are we going to do this, right? But I'm not in a historical society, so you start right, and none of us are necessarily in our respective things we've been assigned. So I think you start there, and then we can use the back chart or not, and get a little more specific on what we want to do. Does that make sense?
Did this come from the back chart? Where did you come up with these
No.
things?
Jan had written an executive summary.
Oh,
It wasn't in the appendix yet.
oh,
It hasn't been approved by Mary Lou, but it's a start. So those are the kinds of things they're
oh.
working
So for all the
on.
other sections, we're kind of starting from scratch.
Well, unless there's, you can use what's in the back.
That table he just showed us has.
The table has
From the last
each
time.
section,
Yeah.
and nothing, I don't know, Rich, I had asked you to go through all of those, and for the most part, not much has been done. Is that a fair statement? On the original implementation?
That's right.
Right, so you can use that as a starting point, certainly. And if you don't know, talk to, Frank or whoever is running that section. And I don't know what's the easiest way to have that information sent to you so that you can update, or what's the easiest way to do it from your perspective?
Probably once you all have your
Section,
section done, just email it to me, and I can plug it into
so you
the
can
master
cut and
draft.
paste from there, right?
Yeah,
So that's the easiest way to do it?
yeah.
Okay. So we want to get this toward the finish line, so if you guys can do this over the next couple of weeks.
You wouldn't happen to have an ETA on Mary Lou getting Heritage's section to us, would you?
Oh, I don't.
But,
No, she
the good
apologized
news
to the
is we
barbecue the
have,
other day that she's late.
what's that? She
She
said
said
she
she was late. I said,
So-
I know.
we'll wait for Mary Lou, but we do have,
Yes, we have the other sections, I'm not saying we don't.
yeah.
So one thought Marshall and I kicked around a little bit. The page,
Oh, that policy standard.
yeah, the page in front of this has the A, B, and C on it. A is an introduction, B is policy goals, what we want in general. C is policy principles, what we want commitments. And then we have this D section, what we want specifics. I feel that we can kind of get rid of section D and just put it in the implementation, because those are going to be specific. And you just put your top 5 things in there that you want to implement. And it would kind of clean this up a little bit, and I think all these implementation can go in the appendix in the back. So it would be very clear. It would be much clearer to me. Here's what we're talking about, here's what we generally want, and here's how we're gonna sort of get there, here's what we're gonna do. So I don't know if others would be on board. The land use one is gonna be the hard one, because the land use section is, I don't know whose section that was, but,
Because everybody,
Yeah, it was mine, but
Most of it.
everybody else, yeah.
because that's like 7, 8 pages between
Yeah.
C and D.
Mhm. Yeah, I've already put my stuff in. Thoughts?
So I'm with Ed, but I don't know what you guys think. I think we just get rid of D on all of them. Section D.
should probably get rid of anything that still says to be developed,
Yeah.
because we still don't have anything to fill it in
It's been
with.
20 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can, the land use one, I don't know if you can combine C and D somehow. Or would that be too hard? I think you can put a lot of D into the implementation. Land use is 205, I think.
It's like halfway through. 2.05-5.
The other, just a minor thing that SRPC suggested was that nowhere in our master plan should it say the words shall or will. It should say should, or I forget what the other one was.
Should or,
May?
Should, could, may, might.
should and will, or consider.
But just be aware of that.
I'm trying to remember which ones.
And a lot of references to
You
RSA's.
guys, what section again?
What's that?
I'm happy to go and try that in each of the sections I had, but I wanted to make sure I remembered what
In
sections
the
I had.
minutes, I think it says, doesn't it?
I had two natural resources I know with Frank. You did the first section, right, the vision.
I have vision as intro and executive
And
summary.
this is historic, is that what this
You
one
have it
was?
somewhere, I just don't have it in front of me.
Okay, maybe,
So,
could you send a reminder out so we know?
I think I did housing too, because that was Gus.
I think you did too.
And we got rid of economic development.
So Leah, did you already make all these changes that you showed in the minutes?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Oh, okay.
You could mark out a bunch of comments. In the minutes last time.
That's right. I don't think I've gotten much ahead of this. No, I definitely haven't done that yet.
Okay. So are we in agreement that in 2 weeks from today, we'll send our stuff to Leah? Is that doable for everybody? Or not?
Yeah, meaning that get rid of D and have some implementation steps around each section?
Yeah.
It's okay with me.
It's okay?
Agreed.
It's okay? Do you have a section? No. We should give him a section.
I'm gonna email everybody what sections they have after.
But he doesn't
sometime.
have one.
Keep in housing.
I'm sure there's something just floating around there,
Yeah.
we can throw it at them.
I don't want you to be left out, Jeff.
So, question about, when we do these things and send them to you, can we BCC the rest of the group?
Yes. As long as no decisions are being made on
I
BCC.
wouldn't mind having a chance to see what other people are doing before we get to the next meeting and being asked to say, go, you know,
Hmm?
I believe you're allowed to do that.
okay,
Work on a document as long as those decisions are made.
okay.
So that's true for even all the planning board materials?
I think
I
so.
think so, yes.
So why don't we just do that and not print all this stuff? Because you sent it to us.
Some people like paper instead, and some don't, and if I gotta list them that or something, I like paper. I don't like all this paper.
Right.
This is a lot.
There's just a lot going on right
So you can do it, that's all I want to know.
It's
Whether we
fine.
will or not, I don't know, but to me, it seems like,
I believe you can. You can't make decisions, you can't edit it, but you can read it and discuss it at the next meeting.
Yeah, that would help a lot.
that was, well, I think you did send all of these, didn't you?
I have been sending you guys
Yeah, you've
everything
sent a
that's
lot.
in these
Yeah.
In
packages.
anticipation of this,
So
not
I
everything.
would
reading.
say, read the stuff and not create all this, I mean, takes a lot of time to do all this, doesn't
It
it?
does.
And it's, you know, not really value add if you read the thing on the computer, right? If somebody wants to print it out at their house, they can, right? There's nothing against that, right?
Yeah.
So I would vote for,
Or just bring your laptop or iPad.
yeah, bring your laptop in.
I know you prefer paper.
I want a printer.
What about you?
I got a printer. Come on, I just did your
I know you.
HP.
You can always come down here and print it.
Who made the printer?
It wasn't you, you were in logistics.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so master plan, I think we got marching orders, try to get back in a couple weeks, and hopefully we'll talk about it next time, get it over to Laura.
So are we gonna, how's our timing on it? When do we need to have all the maps done? Was shooting for October 31st.
It'll be done before this is done,
Oh, okay.
so that's fine if it slides, that's fine too, because we won't be done until December, if we're lucky.
I don't wanna be lucky, I wanna be good.
What do we want to do about our workforce housing overlay documentation,
Well, we have to find the right map.
which we can't find? I went through the draw again. So it's
The city, the assessor map, what do you call that thing? The CIA data download.
I'll get that, that's different, that's different. When we had a review with SRPC, we talked about the workforce housing overlay. And our documentation, the planning board documentation says, as defined on this map from 2009, which no one can find.
And the map we have is,
And the map we have is wrong,
So she's gonna change that map?
only if we tell her what it is. We didn't tell her.
Well, it was the Cane, C-A-N-N, Can.
No, that was a conservation area.
Right.
it's the 500-foot thing on the side of the state roads.
Right, she made a note, she's gonna change it.
She's gonna change it?
Yeah.
So I think we're good there, Rich.
Okay.
We just have to get rid of that old map, because it's not right.
That's right. So we should, when we get that map back, we'll sign it, we'll document that this is the official one and make it official.
So there's a workforce housing overlay map that has basically RA1 and RA2, all the workforce housing, which is essentially the entire town besides Moose Mountain.
Right.
That's not right, and that's not what was voted in. What was voted in was a 500-foot strip on each side of the state roads. So that's the map SRPC is going to make.
State roads are 109 and Lyford. The part of Lyford is the state.
And governors.
And Governor. State roads.
Yeah, with Lyford, it's only part of it though.
That's
right?
right.
Up to Clark.
And she made a note.
Yeah, she did. I think we should be okay there.
Fine,
We
good.
just have to make sure we don't use that old one,
That's for sure.
the wrong one. All right, there's a warrant, any good warrant articles on it? We talked a little bit about the first one, getting in line with state law, which is number 4 on the 2 pages we have in front of you. So we'll change that language because we don't know if we can do it this way. I was hoping we could just do it this way and say, let's get in line with all these various ones. But see if we can do that. Second one, driveway regulations.
Hold on, please.
Yep.
You have the zoning order, 577, I understand. There's 3 more there I can't find. And they're not in the SRPC handout,
No, they're not. They missed 296. That's the class 6 road
because
one.
that's effective next year, right? July 1st.
Is it July? No, it's January.
July 1st, but it's, so my question is, if they went through our zoning, is that these are the amendments that had to change because of
Yep.
state law? These aren't in here.
I wonder
Okay.
if they didn't count it because it's not enacted yet.
I don't know, but I
I don't
didn't
know.
see the bottom 3 in their packet.
They are, right, you're correct about that.
Is 670, 41?
Can we ask them?
No. Yes? Okay, we got that. That's right.
So I just don't know.
Yeah, there's another page in the packet. This one here, erection of buildings on streets. That's the new thing about the liability waiver on a class 6 road. And I believe that, I'm not sure whether 296 or 281 passed or both, but that's what this is. And again, the highlighted is what changed.
Is this something you produced?
This is from SRPC, right?
Yes.
Or the New Hampshire Municipal, one of the two.
I think it's.
This might be, I'm not sure, one of the organizations. I guess we can research that more, just to make sure we're not changing something that hasn't changed yet. Who did the review of these things for us? Then we just looked at,
I mean,
was it
this,
Natalie or Karen?
this,
Yes.
this was Natalie.
Can we just call her and ask her about these three?
Absolutely we
Am I
can.
doing that?
I don't mind at all.
So those three that we,
Wait a minute now.
it's on your agenda.
Yeah,
There's three that,
What were the three again?
296, 281 Senate, and Senate 153. And they all kind of pertain to class 6 roads for the most part. So I don't know if they actually pass when they get implemented, whether we should be doing anything about it this year.
well, this one, this one.
Yeah, the issue is they gave us a write-up of all the changes that had to go in, and they're not included in their write-up, Marshall. Right, they gave us the proposed zoning changes, they're not in here.
Well, there's class 6 roads, 281, right
Yeah, 281 isn't there actually, right?
So then,
here. So that's there,
so this is incomplete
And
then.
here's 296.
yeah, and there's 296.
Okay, so they are there.
So this is complete then. We have two documents to describe. Right, it's not in the package that gave us the wording when we go into this package.
It is, actually.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's in this packet. on the side.
Last page, last 2 pages of this document. Very last
Do
page.
they have a 153 in there?
Bottom line. Look at this, right, proposed zoning?
Yeah.
And the last page I have is residential use,
Residential use.
commercial zones. Am I doing this wrong?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Residential.
Right.
That's what I got. I got this.
That's right, that's the very last page. You don't have to do anything with any of that stuff on the last,
So you said-
the bottom three. You don't have to do anything with
The bottom
the last three.
He doesn't
Second
have
page
this,
from the back.
he doesn't have this page. You don't have this page.
Oh, there's a page missing.
Right? You have advisory items?
I'm not playing with a full package. I
You have that on tape.
You have
I don't
advisory?
put that
I have butters, and then I go right into,
Okay, so you don't have this page.
You got that page. Advisory.
Just give him another copy.
on. Yeah,
296,
but
Take mine.
281.
I know I have extras.
okay.
So you have it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Sorry.
So they have, this is the word, all right, sorry. Advisory items.
153.
I don't see
I don't
153
see
though.
153.
Yeah, I say 153.
I didn't see that one either.
Driveways.
All right.
What is 153 for changing?
Driveways.
I think that's 6-way driveways.
So I'm sorry, where you at?
The only one we don't have is driveways.
Okay, the warrant articles we've got talks about driveways.
Where?
Number 7, the 7th Amendment is regarding incorporating the town's existing driveway permit regulations into zoning stuff.
That's on this page.
Oh, okay, it's not in here.
He's just saying
It's not part of the state law
No.
recommended changes.
Oh, no. I was looking at this, proposed
Oh,
warrants.
that one. Too many papers.
I'm sorry.
When you ask for
Where you
the
at?
We're looking for
proposed warrant,
driveways.
ask her about the 150C.
Oh, driveways are the ones we had.
Right.
So 153 was signed by the governor, and that's the one that says you have to do expedited permitting for a subdivision of 20 units or more.
Okay.
I don't know why they didn't put that in there. So we'd probably have to roll that into our driveway zoning ordinance.
One more time. Subdivision.
Expedited subdivision
Expedited permitting for subdivision,
of over 20 units.
yeah.
Over 20.
I've got a copy of it here, do you want to make a copy of it?
Expedited driveway permitting of major
Yes, please.
entrances for residential use of 20 units or greater.
It's not just for expedited driveway, not just for units of 20 units or more, no, it's for any driveway, I believe, the way I read it. It's a 60-day deny or approve.
Yeah, the denial period is shortened up, I think, right?
Is that just for driveways or subdivisions in general?
It talks about subdivisions of lots of more than 20, you have to have an expedited process, or any driveway, you have to deny or approve within 60 days.
Right.
Yep.
So maybe we'll start with 7 since we're talking about driveways. The driveway regulations we just talked about earlier are on our website. The planning board would control that language. If we have a warrant article that incorporates that into the zoning ordinance, the planning board would not be able to change that language going forward, I believe.
That's correct.
And then, in addition, I would say, if thinking about if you get a driveway permit, you have to make a driveway. Or just say all dwelling units must have a driveway. If we want to say that. And the warrant would be yea or nay. And third part would be this SB 153 language, would be incorporated all into the warrant.
I think for safety reasons, we should have access to all the lines.
All right, so we can rewrite that language. Laura's going to have to look at the language anyway. I'll put something together for that one. Let's go backwards. Number 6, noise ordinance. Is that you guys?
No, that's a tough one. Laura said she'd help us with that.
Okay. Get a lot of, like,
Noise is tough.
It is tough.
and I think we're going to have to, part of the legal stuff was remanded to us to create a noise ordinance, right?
Well, was to make the condition of the approval of their operation to make it objective somehow. The noise, you don't have to have a noise, I don't think it required us to have a noise ordinance.
The
It
reason
required us to have more specifics around what we want them to comply with as far as noise goes, specific to that.
But she said not as far as saying decibel level or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of language. I assume other towns have. We should look at them if we haven't.
I don't want to make, I would just ask her.
I think we should just have her, since
Yeah.
it's tied in with the...
Sure.
Because I don't want to make it.
But I don't know, it has to be an ordinance. We could,
It
but,
could be an ordinance or it could be in our zoning, whatever she recommends. We need
no,
something.
but it could just apply to the recreational zone. To their
At least-
permit that we gave them.
Yes, at least, but then the town, if we have one, should we use it for the town also, is the question, right?
Yeah, no, valid question.
So we'll talk Monday.
Yeah, one of these things that you found in this group of stuff we didn't know we had, there's a public nuisance abatement ordinance. So maybe you change that to include some kind of unreasonable noise. All right, let's move forward. Steve, this, actually, hold on, let me come back to that at the end. Let's go back to number 1. We talked about a sign ordinance several times. And there is another piece of paper in front of you that I grabbed from my Think London area or somewhere, which obviously has a lot of other stuff because of commercial. And I just kind of made up some numbers in terms of square footage. This is just a representative of what potentially we could have.
What's the size? We used to have 2 by 3, 6 square feet.
That's the current rule?
That was the old
No.
rule before we lost it.
We lost it out of the zoning ordinance somehow. We don't know the language. So we're trying to recreate the ordinance we had one time in the zoning ordinance.
Trying to recreate what we had, perhaps, or something close to it.
Remove the paragraph.
So what square footage, we can come up with a number. I mean, I just put in 12 square feet and 24. And I don't think we can regulate political signs. Is that right?
I don't think political signs you can do. That's right.
You can't regulate. So just 2 by 3 isn't very big, right? So we want,
No, you're about 2 before.
3 by 4,
Wait, wait, wait.
12 square feet.
I just made these numbers up,
Oh.
but they might have come from Londonderry.
Yeah.
And do we want something different in the rec zone? Or do we just say, 3 by 4, period, 12 square feet?
Well, whatever they have now would be grandfathered anyway, right?
Yes.
So no bigger than whatever you,
Okay, so when we write this, we'll fill in the blank with the number.
You know, we'll go and measure what they've got and say, hey, is that good, or do we want a little bigger? If you want a little bigger, then you go to my house.
well, your sign isn't big,
What's the size of yours?
right?
I don't know, it's about that big, but about that big.
3 by 2.
4 by 2? 5 by 2?
4 by 2.
Probably 4 by 2.
Like Gus's sign is nice.
Yeah.
That's only 2 by 2 or 2
Yeah.
2.5 by 2 or something.
Yeah.
And then, if we
That's
want
a
to put,
calligraphy sign.
we want to put stuff around how close to the traveled way, we can do that, and height,
And how many?
illumination, no flashing signs, blah, blah, blah.
After
We can-
Gus came in, he wanted to put 2 up.
And you can always go to CBA and get a variance
Yes.
if you want, or try to get one.
Yes.
The 1.9 here is kind of confusing. I don't even know if we need that, but that was right from Londonderry. So we can massage that language going forward. But we all in agreement that we want some kind of sign word.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Do you want me to email everyone the previous language?
Sure. Second amendment, and this would be helpful with, subdivisions and stuff like that, is requiring a conceptual consultation. So now it is not required, it's optional on the part of the applicant. I think it would benefit everybody if we required it.
Does that mean they have to notice all the abutters for the conceptual plan?
I don't
No,
think
it's
it's
just us.
conceptual, only for whatever the next step is.
Because in one of those things I was reading, it said you had to notice the abutters for the conceptual plan. And I was like, that was kind of,
Overkill.
yeah.
Yeah,
think we do.
I think it just be coming to planning board and the selectmen.
It was in the pic, but it was on the computer, so you can.
I hear you.
Such discussions may occur without the necessity of giving formal public notice,
Okay, good,
but only at formal meetings of the board.
good.
And then when you get to this design reviews
Yes.
section, I think
Doesn't
you
mean
have
that
to
you
do it.
didn't read it somewhere though.
Oh, I
That's
I
my
know.
concern,
No, I'll-
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
because
Yeah.
things kind of.
So everybody's okay with that one?
I just, the last sentence, I wonder if that's too strong. Planning board will make every effort to assist the applicant, and just thinking back with the Moose Mountain experience, are we setting ourselves up for someone saying, well, you didn't take every effort you should have?
Well,
Are we gonna run this by our council?
yeah, well, we could say
Reasonable
Just
effort?
assist.
reasonable
The
effort.
planning board will assist the applicant.
Yeah.
Why just take out make effort,
Yeah.
every effort?
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Good with that one? The third one, I think, I don't know if we have mixed feelings here, but we had the Sol Smart people come in and they gave us a couple of recommendations which are summarized here. And they're kind of talking their book a little bit because they want solar everywhere. But allow ground-mounted solar as a permitted accessory use. Now we have some restrictions on that. We have restrictions on freestanding systems in terms of setback, and it's got to be behind the property and some other stuff. They're saying that that kind of keeps down the amount of solar that people can put in, so we shouldn't have that. And the last one is, I think we kind of limited commercial amount, put back to the grid, so to avoid solar farms on the McDonald property or whatever. So do we want anything on solar relaxing? It doesn't have to be these specifically, but do we want to relax any of the restrictions and give them their recommendations?
I think we're okay. We're living with the zoning we have today. People are putting them in. We've had one case go to the ZBA, and the ZBA said, go do it. It's in the front yard. So I don't think we need that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was reading, I was going,
I'm not sure we're going to need, yeah.
Okay. Steve, number 5.
Number 5.
This is you.
I think it's fairly easy to, put out there. There are only, oops, I lost my piece of paper. About 13 lots on our 2 roads, which would be 109 and Governor's Road, that do not have any housing on it. So we're not talking about much that would actually be done. Most everything already has a house. And unless they, or like Steve wants to split it up, they wouldn't. They probably keep it. I get a little over 4 acres myself. I could split it to 2, split it in half. But I don't think I'd want to do that. But that isn't part of the 13, because I got a house in there.
What does that buy us? What does that buy the town?
More property that can be, sold, split off, and additional housing can be put in there.
So the state
so-
can see that we're trying to ease the housing crisis.
But that is, that's,
Oh, okay, well, we've got land, housing that can be taxed, and we can increase it right there.
so you said there was 13 properties
Yeah,
that have no houses on them now,
correct.
but there are other properties that have houses on them that might have larger acreage that
Yeah,
could be
no,
subdivided.
that are 5 acres, that are 4 acres or more. I didn't even
So like
consider
yours, for
those.
example.
Huh?
Yours would be in addition to the 13, as an example.
That's correct.
Okay.
Huh?
I feel like we need to consider that.
Mhm.
How many other lots there are that could be subdivided?
13. Oh,
No,
oh,
the house is already
With
on.
houses on them.
yeah, well, that would be the discretion of, the owners.
Understood,
It
yeah.
would be
No,
up to Steve
definitely.
if, what he wants to do. And if he goes ahead and does it, he'll make money in selling his, doing the properties out. And they can go ahead, build another house on there, we can tax another house out. But we're not impeding the rural atmosphere of Brookfield.
but that logic says we should take the whole town and go to 1 acre.
No.
Get us out, get as many houses as we can get.
No, if we did that, then it's gonna cost Brookfield a lot more, because I'm only picking on state highways.
But why only state highways? What's good for the state highway is good for all roads, isn't it?
True, that could be a different warrant article, but I'm trying to just limit it down so that we can look good in front of the state and, possibly increase some housing and revenue.
But also keep our rural character.
I don't think to look good. I mean, look good, they don't, Steve doesn't care about what look good, right? You can build on class 6 roads, they don't care about that.
You get a lot of people that they want the rural atmosphere, of Brookfield. Going along down Governor's Road, a lot of the places down through there are 2 acres. So we used to have 2 acres.
Yep.
So it's maintaining, but we're restricting it just to 109 Governor's Road, because those are state highways, and if there's going to be any permitting and whatever, Brookfield's not going to have to worry about it. We're not going to have to increase roads.
Should we limit that to state numbered highways?
I did, that's why
That
I
would
didn't,
eliminate Lyford Road.
I didn't include Lyford a bit, because that's only halfway through. I don't know.
So the question really is, what do we want Route 109 to look like?
Mhm.
That's the crux of it, right? What do you want 109 to look like? Do you want a lot of development on 109?
Can we just back up 1 second? I think the ADU law now is going to create some housing.
Right.
But the owner is it's more lucrative for an owner on 109 to sell off a lot as opposed to go out and build an ADU and rent it.
Right.
So that's where you're going with it.
Mhm.
But I think there will be more houses anyway, with this ADU rule.
That's right, I agree. But so, to me, the question is, what do we want these roads to look like? I mean, do we want them? That's the discussion. How many houses, how close together do you want the houses on 109?
Well, right now, they're set at 2 acres already.
Yep.
And so you don't have anything between Wakefield and Governor's Road. Everything's built up. You don't have anything
We
available.
have a lot of open land on the other side of 109, right?
It has to be beyond the sharp turn, beyond Governor's Road. And there's not much up through there.
So if we already have you already have the ability to do this right now, right?
Put an ADU on it, yeah. Is that what you mean?
No, you can put a house on it. If there's 13 lots that you can build on, and people own those lots.
I think Steve's suggestion, you can make that 30 lots by making them 2 acre zoning. He's suggesting those bigger lots, you can divide into smaller lots. And instead of 13 houses, you could get some number larger than 13.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, then you'd have to make a subdivision in there, because you've got a couple of lots further down on Governor's Road that are, 100 acres?
There's some huge ones down there.
Yeah.
So was this limited to a certain distance from the state highway? Was it 500 feet?
No.
It wasn't?
That's
That's the workforce. That's the workforce.
On workforce? Well, yeah, isn't it, when we talk about the same thing though?
No.
No.
Workforce
This is
housing
just
for 2
regular
acre
houses.
lots?
Workforce housing, I think you're paying 1 acre. Workforce housing is a whole list of regulations, and it can be pretty dense on 109. If you look at the workforce housing regs, that is not even 2 acre zoning, that is less than 2 acre zoning. But you need a developer that's going to get some money out of it to put it up. I think what Steve's suggesting, you take the zoning on Route 109, for example, is 2 acres, period. As opposed to 5 that we have today,
So if I was to
But why
have
would
a,
we do that?
Yes, Steve?
if I had a 50 acre lot and I want to put a road in and come back out, I could have 2 acre lots on that whole 50 acres if it came off of 109.
Yes.
Okay.
You'd have to do a subdivision.
Yeah,
application.
of course.
What are the existing rules for, so just, let's say you have a 10 acre lot and you want to put 2 houses on it, 5 acres each.
You can do
But
it.
it's 10 acres.
Okay.
What's the rules on dividing that ownership? It's not a subdivision, right?
No.
How do you divide your lot?
It's a subdivision.
It's subdivision.
It's a subdivision.
So who do you go to get approval?
Planning board.
So even if you have the 10 acre lot and you just want to sell half of it, you come to the planning board for approval.
You
It's
have-
technically
you
a
pay a
subdivision.
couple of $1,000 to a surveyor and
Yeah,
Couple.
the frontage.
It's more than a couple.
Try 10.
Yeah.
I just think if we're going to think about this, approving or recommending this, we need to think about more than just the 13 lots. Because they already don't have a house on them. And if they can divide it in half, so can someone with a house already.
What about the road frontage requirements?
So you have a lot more than
Yeah,
just the
that's-
13.
that would have to be adjusted back down to what we had with the 3 acre.
You'd have to deal with the front.
I think we need some more discussion on this before we put a warrant article in.
I would agree.
I mean, it might be a good idea, but I think we have to understand what we're talking about.
And what do you want Brookfield to look like? I mean,
That's,
That's the
you
question.
know,
that's,
a lot of these other towns that have, okay, we're gonna go down to, 1 acre zoning or 3/4 acre zoning, especially if they have town water, town sewer. But then if you come to Brookfield and people go, oh, it's 5 acre zoning. I like that. I don't want to be in the town that's got,
Yeah,
10,000 people. I want to be in a town that's got 1,000 people.
right now, when they're driving on 109 or Governors Road, they're 50, 60 miles an hour. So they're not really looking, but if they want to, look at the outside, the other roads that we have out there, then they can say, oh, okay, that's a whole lot different. I'm peaceful out there.
But it's a whole town feel. It's not just
Yeah,
a section of town.
trying to appease part of the state and have us look good, but we have hardly anything that they can go ahead and split up to make to allow the 2 acre. And Steve wants to make money.
I think there's.
No, I want to recoup the money I've already paid the town every year in my assessment for the
I
last
think
45
there's-
years.
I think there's more than
Because I
13
could have
properties
a lot.
out there that you could develop.
Uh,
They may have houses on them already, but I think there's more than 13.
Steve, can I ask you as a realtor, just step out of your personal situation for a second? Your opinion as a realtor and the desirability of Brookfield if we were to do something like that?
Many people in town, out of town, including in the religious orders, call Brookfield the country club because of your zoning.
I heard gated community. I heard adult community.
What did you say,
I
adult?
heard if you want, yeah, there, you can go there.
Many people feel Brookfield is for snobs, not regular people, to be honest with you.
Did you say snobs?
I said snobs.
Okay.
Having lived in the most expensive town in Massachusetts before, I know what snobs are.
Is that why you moved here?
And that was 45 years ago.
Some people like living in those kind of towns.
Yeah, I feel like we need to, what is the goal, right? I don't know that we get anything out of looking good to the state personally. Maybe we do, I don't know.
Mhm.
But tax revenue, I understand that.
Mm.
That's the, or if, it's a real hardship on current homeowners. That would be another thing. But, the town passed this last year, right? The year before?
Last year.
Yeah.
Barely.
I think Rich is right. I think it needs some more discussion because I'm not following completely, and if I'm not following it, the public isn't. So
I'll go ahead and do a little more research and maybe try to come up with a picture or whatever as to the lots that might
I
fit
can
in.
help you with that if you would like.
and the question is, still for the board, what do we want Route 109 to look like? What do we want the town to look like? That's what I keep wrestling with, because we can go, if 2 acres is good, we can go 1 acre.
No, that's,
You're right, so what do we want that whole corridor to look like?
no.
And if you have more houses, you're gonna have more children. And which, that's gonna raise your, schools, fire, police.
Actually, that does not impact the town the way you're thinking it does. The more students you have, the more broad the expense per student is passed on the entire district. There was a study done, which I lived here last year on that. That's a false statement. More children do not increase your individual town's cost per student.
Not cost per student, I agree. But the tax rate is based upon the number of students we tuition next door.
So I don't think we can discriminate against families or households, or whatever you want to call them.
No.
No.
We love them.
Well, I worry about this, I mean, you brought up the speed of the road, which already bothers me, but we now have more homes. And I don't know, maybe that's a different issue, but the speed on 109 is personally an issue for me. And it'll be for every new homeowner on that road, it would be an issue for them.
I'll go ahead and give you a picture as to what might, I'll see if I can do a couple of different colors as to, 4 acres, 5 acres or whatever. I've got all of that still mapped out at home.
And what is our frontage? Is it 500?
I think it was 400.
Road frontage is 400?
400.
And it had been 250?
250.
Yeah.
Steve, could you also just do a list of pros and cons? Like, not 20 or 30 of them, but like your top 5? Why you want to do this and why you wouldn't want to do it?
Sure.
All right. More discussion on that one, and I think we're almost done. That's it. Member comments?
So noise, we're going to talk to,
Noise, we're going just to summarize. 1 and 2, we will have something in there. 3 we get rid of. 4, we're going to deal with SRPC and Laura. 5, more discussion. 6 is Laura, again, because of the noise ordinance. And the last one is the driveways. We'll incorporate the driveway regulations and the other 2, driveway permit thing, and then the SB 153 language.
I think it might be time to start with running, watch our calendar. Because as we get the wording down and what we're replacing in our zoning, because this is the concept, but it doesn't talk about the changes that we're going to make to the zoning.
These are patterned after what she gave us last year, and we didn't have that last year. It didn't have the actual language.
You don't think we hit that on the mark?
Might have been on the informational packet. All right, I'll bet you a beer that we did not.
Okay.
Any other member comments?
I've got a question beyond some of this, a couple of emails that we've gotten. And I don't know if it's set up for next week or whatever. We'd had one about soccer. And if that was going to be, if there was going to be any problem with that.
It's just been dropped for now.
I think it's in the way right
Yeah,
now.
he hasn't come back to say, okay, I'd like to meet with you and discuss that.
Oh, okay. The other thing was about the McDonald Farm.
Yeah.
I went ahead and, I had my thoughts set over to Leah.
My first question is, what does she have in mind? She didn't
She
specify.
didn't divulge that.
That's-
Just looking for ideas.
So did that come to the planning board, or did that come to the select?
That came to the planning board.
So at a minimum, we should respond or call her.
I would be careful.
Right.
I would be very careful expressing a planning board position on a development or possible development. That can come back to bite us.
So what about a preliminary conceptual consultation?
Ever come
It's
in?
her option,
Ever come in?
and it's non-binding. Whatever we say, that is non-binding.
Yeah.
I would not respond officially, other than
Didn't
in public right here.
Didn't she ask that all the town boards?
Yep, and
Receive that?
I said that to everybody, be careful if you're representing the town when you respond to that.
Right, oh, yeah, but I mean, my question, I guess, is are the selectmen gonna
We're not gonna respond.
address that in any way? Yeah.
Can you inform the public what you're talking about?
So about 2 weeks ago, we got an email to the planning board. I don't remember the woman's name.
Just gonna ask you that.
Agnes McDonald's niece. Now that Agnes McDonald has passed away, she was asking for opinions on what to do with the property because it's too large and for whatever reason she can't move into it or utilize it. So she's just looking for ideas.
And I think it's about 50 acres.
Yeah.
I mean, she's saying
There's
she
2 or
wants,
3 barns and.
is she saying she wants to donate it, or she's just?
No.
She didn't
No.
specify anything.
Well, the planning board really has no business responding to that. I mean, they could ask you individually.
That's right.
Yeah,
Individual cup of coffee. but-
And you shouldn't respond, because we've learned our lesson about helping our neighbors and talking about it, and we shouldn't say a word, is my coaching to everybody.
Well, you have freedom of speech, so if you want to talk to them individually, yes, but you're not speaking for the board or the town, that's all.
Yes,
Yes,
freedom of speech, but I'm suggesting that it gets us in trouble. So be very careful if you're gonna talk to her about
Because you're an elected official, you have to behave like one.
it. Exactly.
So in our rules of procedure, it says, quote, "The board and the applicant may discuss proposals in conceptual form only and in general terms such as the desirability of types of development and proposals relative to Brookfield's ordinances, regulations, and the master plan. Such discussions may occur without the necessity of giving formal public notice, but such discussions may occur only at formal meetings of the board." So if we're going to have a discussion, it needs to be at a formal meeting of the board, not off books.
Correct.
So who is gonna craft this email response?
Do you want me to invite her to the next meeting?
I wouldn't invite her, I would suggest that if she would like to come and discuss conceptual designs, she's welcome.
We'll put her on the agenda.
And maybe use some of this language.
Use that language.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put her, she's welcome.
If
to
she'd
come.
like to, yeah.
That's right, she's welcome to come.
Welcome to come to any meeting.
That's right.
That property's only 50 acres?
No, it's more.
More
I was
than
gonna
that.
say.
It's like 130, goes all the way around.
Yeah, okay.
And she has 3 different lots.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, so she would come in and ask questions like, I have this property and I want to do this, what do I have to do? Are those the questions you're going to be asked? Or is she going to ask? the
We don't
board?
know.
We don't know.
No.
She might say, what do you think the town might like to see there?
I would think your answer has to be, it has to be related to only understanding what the existing ordinances are if you have projects you want to do. It
Yep.
can't be a personal
No.
opinion on what she should do with it.
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me talk.
So do you think we're opening ourselves up to
Yeah.
issues if we invite her?
No, not at all. Oh, she's welcome to come. I wouldn't say we're putting you on the agenda. It's her free will to come in when she'd like to chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I would point her to that language
So
you
not
read.
the, not the.
So she's aware of what,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's official if it's a preliminary conceptual consultation,
uh,
right?
Yeah.
Well, but she's gonna ask, so what do you think we should do?
Describe the existing zone.
Well, we just tell, we can't tell you what to do. It's not
That's right.
really,
Yeah.
that's not our position at all.
That's right. Describe what we.
Talk to your friends and neighbors.
We might ask her, what are your goals? Do you want to maximize financially out of the property, or?
None of our business, none of our business,
I
none
don't think
of
we
our
want her,
business.
yeah.
You can just tell her, just comport your questions about conceptual ideas that you need to ask on how to proceed. It can't be opinion.
Yeah.
So we put her on the public comments section, or would we put her on the agenda?
Why don't you ask her in writing, what are specific ideas that she wants to use, wants to do?
Why don't we have her come in and talk to us at conceptual? like the document says.
Yeah, so can you use some of that language? I'll take a look at the email before we send it.
Yes, absolutely.
Just tell her she's welcome to come in at her convenience, as long as it's a second Monday of the month.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, we're not going to have a special meeting. All right, anything else? (7:56), meeting is adjourned. The next meeting is November 10th. Ed, can you send me the AI thing on the motion procedure that you did?
Don't you have?
I don't have it.
I have, no, I mean, you don't have to use rock at all.
No,
You should.
I should.
It's easy to download it. It's a free.
I talked to my wife, my security, my laptop security person, said I can't.
Okay. No, I get it. But you wanted a copy of the rules of procedure.
You ran the rules of procedure through there, I think.
Okay.
I can't do anything to help anybody. This is wonderful system. I know, I'm with you. It's just
It's going to Superior Court, trying to be helpful.
Jesus, right?
Yeah.